Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Amanda's back with us. Have you been on any recently, or have you been like absent?
No, I've been absent.
Amanda has been working, but uh, she's back by popular demand.
I'm making a triumphant return.
Topic today is how did I put this? We're making a piece of internet real estate, the how and why, and how you can too. So let's lead off with the you part because that's how good content is made. How you can too. So the idea here is that if you set up a website, you could think of this as a piece of digital real estate in a sense. Like websites are properties, and you can turn those properties. I mean, I guess you could live in one, in a manner of speaking. Which this is straining the metaphor a little bit, but you could set up your like personal blog and write about like what you and your dog did today, and that I would think of as kind of like living in one. Like it's a piece of a thing that you own, but it has very little commercial interest. Or you could build such a digital property with the idea that it would make money in some capacity, meaning you would write a bunch of articles that were like product reviews, and you'd have what are called affiliate links, like essentially advertising or a form of advertising. You could also like produce something that you would sell, tchotchkes or photographs or whatever, and then your website, you would build it up as kind of a funnel to like bring people in and hopefully buy your stuff. So one thing that the entire world is figuring out is, unemployment hits like 98% or whatever it is these days. Like in all seriousness, there's a lot of furloughed and unemployed people at home. And one of the ways that people with like traditionally meat space jobs, like retail, personal training, so on and so forth. One of the ways that you might deal with this, if you were so inclined, is to kind of figure out how to create an internet property for yourself that's related to what you're good at and what you know, and that could make you some money for doing that. So like a simple way would be, let's say that you're a personal trainer, you might build a website, and I'm not going to get into the details of how exactly you would bring in a lot of traffic, but let's say that you built a website and it brought in a lot of traffic from people who are interested in personal training. Well, now you've got all these people paying attention to you about what you know about. You might be able to sell them things. Like you might be able to advertise, I don't know, what is a personal trainer? What kind of equipment?
Like bands, resistant bands, weightlifting belts,
I will take your word for
supplements.
it.
Um,
The only exercise I do is jogging and just shoes. But so the idea would be you make this personal training website. A lot of people come to it for your expertise. And then while you're there, you can endorse and sell, products and get a commission on these things. So that's a good example of how you could take a job that's very presence focused and then build a piece of internet property that makes you money talking about the things that you know about, but it's just a different way. It's a way to work in a remote digital economy. So that's kind of the why would this interest you? Working backwards, we are building or have been building a property like that. It is makemeaprogrammer.com. And when we conceived of this, the idea was let's hit subscribe really works in the software engineering space. So we thought, well, we could build this kind of community site that would draw in aspiring programmers, tomorrow's hit subscribe authors or customers potentially. But it was people that were, either graduating from college with a computer science degree or maybe going through a boot camp, like you've been a teacher or a real estate agent or something all your career, and now you want to be a programmer. So it's a site aimed at people like that.
mhm.
And the purpose of it was kind of in the beginning to, how do I put this without sounding mercenary? It was to be sort of a case study for our business. And so basically, I went to a hosting company and I literally built a website in 20 minutes, like soup to nuts, which wouldn't be as easy if you don't know how to do these things, but it's not super hard. Like
It
you
still
can,
would be easy. Yeah, I mean, I could do it, and I don't have any. I don't program. I would just go. Select. I would go to WordPress and be like, I want to make a website, and then I'd like, pick things like, what do you want it to look like? Click on what you want it to look like, and then you have to buy some things and hook up some things. But like for the most part, if you Google how to set up a website, you don't have to be technical to do it.
yeah. So I built this. If you go to makemeaprogrammer.com and looked at it, it's not really the prettiest thing in the world, which is actually kind of the point. The idea was if we build this website in 20 minutes and we put like zero effort into promoting it, zero effort into anything, can we write articles that if we optimize them for search, if we just write like good content and do nothing to promote it and just like let the search engines discover it and promote it, like would this work? And the reason being is we figured it would, but we wanted to prove it and have it as a case study for clients. And it did. So we wrote 13 articles. I think I wrote most of them and Phil wrote one or two. And we just let it exist in the world, and it now gets 2,000 people a month reading it. Like we haven't posted anything to it in 6 months. Before that, like we posted one article to it in the last year, and nevertheless, 2,000 people a month show up and read articles on it. So that kind of demonstrates the power of what our business does. And you better believe I went and made a video, which we could link, but that's like a case study to show our clients. Like, you know, with 13 articles and no budget, we did this. Imagine what we can do for you with your budget and actual product instead of just like miscellaneous affiliate links. So that was the original vision, but then we kind of proved our point. So what we're doing now is we're turning it into a community site, and Amanda is spearheading this effort.
Yeah.
And what I mean by a community site is basically a resource for the kind of people that want to learn to become programmers. So,
well, we have a whole bunch of people that we know because of the nature of our business that became programmers, and so we have a series of things that like are just answers to questions that people are going to write. So things like, do I need a computer science degree in order to be a programmer? Do I, what was another one? Like, what books should I read if I'm learning how to program? And then we have a series of like interview style posts that we're doing. So we're so we're asking our authors to come in and answer like a series of questions of their choice. With questions like, you know, what do you specialize in? Like, you know, what would you advise people just getting started and stuff like that. So the authors themselves get featured. You know, they'll get a backlink to their site. So if people want to go learn more, you know, we'll link to them. So it's kind of a mutually beneficial situation. They kind of get their name out there. I'm posing it as Ask a Veteran. So like, you know, it's a nice way to kind of also get the authors to, you know, be posted as experts in the field and probably answer some people's actual questions with real experiences, which I think are like the most valuable kinds of answers.
yeah, so I mean, from our perspective, this is a piece of digital property that Hit Subscribe, the business, owns. And it does make a little bit of money. Like in some of the articles I wrote, I went and put in, I'll explain affiliate links a little bit. Like the most common affiliate link is Amazon. So if I'm talking about you know, like let's say a programming book that I would recommend, I can link to that book on Amazon and use what's called an affiliate link. And then anybody who goes there and buys stuff from Amazon, we, in this case, Hit Subscribe, but if you had your own, you would get a cut of it. And the idea there is it doesn't cost the person buying anything. It's just Amazon's way of thanking you for throwing them some business. Mm-hmm. So there are all kinds of different affiliate programs that you can participate in. Amazon has perhaps the most extensive one, but a lot of products, a lot of services offer that. And that's kind of one of the more low-key ways to generate revenue on a site. Another one is if you throw up like banner advertisements, or you actually do like sponsored posts where you're like, hey, we interrupt our normal post to talk all about these shoes I love. You know, if you see a post like that on a blogger's site that you like, that's common. It's kind of like the equivalent of a YouTuber or Instagram influencer plugging a thing. These are ways to generate revenue from the site. And in our case, we'd want to generate revenue first so that we can pay for the cost of the site that Hit Subscribe has just been absorbing, like the hosting and everything.
How much is that?
I don't know. It's not much. Like you could go and have your own website, I'm guessing, for like starting at $20 a year, depending. I feel like maybe it's $100 a year or something that we're paying. I forget.
Yeah, because you can either get the one with ads or without ads. The with ads is not great. Those are not.
It's not a WordPress.com site. It's a hosted site.
Okay.
But nevertheless, you can actually start a site for almost nothing. And to get a pretty good setup going, you're not talking about much, like tens of dollars a month max. So we'd want to cover that cost. And then as it starts generating more ad revenue, more affiliate revenue, we want to start paying the authors to participate instead of just relying on goodwill. So that's why we're building this. To zoom out a little bit and for you to think about making money in the digital economy with a skill that's not traditionally digital, like personal training or yoga or whatever it may be, you would build a site where maybe you could make money from advertisements and such, but it could also bring you business. So if you become known as like this online expert with a lot of traffic about yoga, if you even had to close down your yoga studio, but you're going to open another one back up, that's a whole lot of people coming and potentially giving you business right away. So you can use it to advertise your stuff that you sell or do. And then in the long run, you can actually, like a piece of real estate, flip it. Like there's this site called Empire Flippers that like specializes in like you build some site and it gets a lot of traffic and you can like literally go sell this site. And I'm not talking about pennies. Like you can sell these for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, assuming it gets a lot of traffic and it's generating a lot of revenue. So if you're earning, several $1,000s a month in affiliate income, somebody's going to want to come along and give you $50,000, $70,000 for that, because why wouldn't they? Wouldn't you buy something that would just pay you $1,000 or $2,000 a month for doing nothing? So that's really kind of the end game. I don't know that hit subscribe, sort of a like knock our socks off offer, would look to sell this property.
Mm-hmm.
We'd probably just want to own it. But again, that's like real estate. You might just want to hang on to it, earn revenue from renting it out, if you will, or just own it for it to appreciate. Like there's really a lot to be said for you build a website, find a way to get it traffic, and it really is like real estate. You have different ways of earning money off of it. It appreciates.
Yeah, I'm thinking too, like the easiest way that I can kind of understand this is like if you become a thing in the world that attracts a lot of eyeballs, there are people that I want those eyeballs on me too. So like if you think about what's a good example, like TikTok. If you got somebody, it's a dancer on TikTok and she's got 2 million very ardent excited to hang out and watch her fans. There are so many companies that would be like, I would pay to not just like get in front of your audience, but for you to be like, you as the trusted and well liked thing to be like the vector for whatever it is. So like the more eyeballs that you attract, the more people are going to be interested in being like, oh, pre-vetted eyeballs, very interesting,
Yeah. I wouldn't put my money on influencer marketing personally, but that's a topic for another video.
Yeah, I don't know, like if like we're talking about doing influencer marketing with hit subscribe, but that is the way that like I kind of think, is it like the more eyeballs that you get, the more ways that people are going to be like, I would like to engage with you in some ways because I want a little piece of the eyeball action. Ew.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Kind of weird.
Explanation is great, but I'm more kind of prognosticating that I don't feel like influencer marketing is a good play.
Not enough dancing.
Not enough conversion.
Not enough conversion.
They found that there's like
the
influencers with like millions of
Yeah.
followers that try to like hawk some product and like
Yeah.
nobody buys it, even though it's
Yeah, I think people are like becoming more and more jaded. Like as you were talking about the Amazon affiliate links, like since I found out about Amazon affiliate links, now when I Google like, today I was looking like, oh, I wonder if there's a good peptide serum or something out there, and you just see endless list of like top 10 whatever, and you know that like these places haven't actually like done their research or like you see like style or influencer or whatever, and you're like, these are just people trying to like do affiliate marketing. These aren't actually like carefully vetted ingredients analyzed like top 10 lists. And
yeah. So affiliate marketing done poorly, you can go out and look for it. Like once you learn how to tell what an affiliate link is, you will totally recognize sites that are just hawking stuff to you.
Yeah.
They'll be like poorly researched. Out of nowhere, they'll claim to love a product they've never talked about before, etc. Like you can see these patterns. Good affiliate marketing doesn't have to involve you being slimy.
Right.
Like if what I would recommend to any of you out there that would consider doing affiliate marketing, go and find all the products you like. Like if you have a yoga studio and you swear by a certain yoga mat or a certain set of clothing or whatever the case may be, go find if those things have affiliate programs. And like start there. Start with the stuff that you would legitimately actually recommend. And if you talk about that stuff, you can be upfront.
Yes.
Like on affiliate situations that I've built, I say straight out like, hey, I'll make a little bit of money. So if you want to like buy me a beer by buying your next project or product here, I'd appreciate the click.
I think the FCC requires you to be upfront, and if they're not upfront, that's like a violation too. But yeah, that's like
it requires it, but that doesn't mean they are.
yeah. I'm not sure what they do.
No, but I mean like actually saying it in the post. Like
yes.
This is a little like in the weeds, but if you are going to do affiliate marketing, you are required legally to disclose somewhere on your website that you're earning money from doing this. people do it in like some people's line of thought is I will do this in the most fine printy way and try to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
I say like when I do this on sites, I completely lean into it. Like I'll do this on my YouTube channel and say, here are some links. These are affiliate links. You will help me make a little bit of money and support my channel if you click these and buy stuff.
Absolutely.
Do what you want.
And I think too that like people can really, you know, they're starting to kind of get a nose for it, and they can see when you're trying to make money and when you're trying to be earnest. Like if I went to a site that was in the top 10 peptide serums and there was like a legitimate, you know, breakdown of the ingredients, and like I used it, here's a before and after of my skin. You could see this one really didn't have a lot of difference after a month or something like that. And they were like, hey, here's a bunch of affiliate links. I would be like, thank you. I will support you because I feel really good about you. I feel great about what you've done here. So I don't. Yeah, it
could be
doesn't
another
make me slimy.
topic, like instrumenting a site. So I mean, like what we were trying to describe here is why we have this property, what we're doing with it. Affiliate marketing is a thing you can do with it. We do a little bit of it. Like if you're on that site and you want to check it out, you can
You
see
wanna
what our
buy
disclosure
anything?
looks like. No,
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
buy anything.
you can see what the disclosure looks like and kind of how it works. Only some of the posts have affiliate links, but the idea in this is like this is kind of how you build a property and what you might do with it, and that's probably going to be useful for a lot of people in the coming months if the forecasts of what's coming are to be believed. So something to consider. You don't need a whole lot of expertise in terms of like actually marketing and in terms of like building a site or anything. You can do these in a pretty approachable way. What you do need is expertise in the thing that you want to talk about,
Yes.
but maybe it's a thing that you've never thought of as like lending itself to digital marketing or lending itself to the internet per se, but it can. You can talk about anything. You can find your tribe out there that's interested in hearing what you have to say, and you can build an audience kind of answering their questions, sharing your expertise.
Yeah, a great place to start with this is to just kind of like write down in a list like what are things that your clients have asked you, or what are things that like, you know, you hear are commonly said, or like things that just cross your mind as like you know, being you know, like old wives tales or stuff like that, like you know, if you're a hairdresser, like that hair dye that you buy from the store is the same quality as hair dye you get in a salon or something like that. Like, you know, so you can just start by, you know, making the titles of your posts like, you know, is box dye the same as salon dye and stuff like that, and just start answering the questions that are the most like basic things that you hear from, you know, the people in your field, you know, or just starting out or whatever, getting to know things.
You know what? Like a good way to close, like I'm glad you brought that up, because for anybody that really wonders what Hit Subscribe does, like kind of at its core, our planning and strategy for clients, we help clients figure out those questions. We help clients figure out the questions the people who want to buy from them are asking,
Yes.
and then we help them answer those questions. That's the essence of content marketing. So our authors aren't going out and hawking stuff. We're going to a client and we're figuring out what their buyers, what their would-be customers are wondering about, and we're helping those people. And that's like the core of our business, in case you were curious.
Yes.
So yeah, it's about building up these properties. You could think of our client sites as properties that we're helping build up. And that's kind of what we do. Week in and week out is help with that stuff. So hopefully this was interesting for some of you. If that's the case, you know, we can talk more about like building digital properties and this type of stuff, you know, so hopefully
Like the stages of growth, kind of like what you were talking about your heavy bit blog, like, you know, what does the beginning look like, what does the middle look like, and then what is the, you know.
yeah, that might be interesting.
All right.
Well, we'll get it figured out. We're running long on time here, so we'll catch you next week. I'm guessing from exactly the same place, because that's everyone's life right now.
We'll be here forever.
Stay safe, everybody. Take care.